Hello, Journal Goddesses. It is Dionne, the Tea Priestess, for another episode of You and Me and a Cup of Tea. And I have my cup of tea here. And as you can probably see on this background here, my baby doggy is not feeling really well. So had to set myself up a little bit differently to be able to bring you this video today. And if you are willing and able, sending some loving energy to my familiar so that she can heal from whatever it was that she's eaten that has caused her to have health problems right now. So just wanted to let you know that's where I'm at. So let's get started here by connecting in with our bodies. How you doing, body? How are you? Just noticing how you're feeling, not trying to change anything, just noticing. Being present in this moment, allowing any racing thoughts to be packed up and set outside of our space. Just totally being where you are right now. And those thoughts that you've packed up and set outside of our space, you have permission. Give yourself that permission to unpack them or not after our time together. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about censorship. And censorship is a really, really, really big thing because then you don't get any you don't get the accurate information. You know, who is to determine what information is accurate for you and for anyone else. But this is especially insidious when we censor ourselves. So when you're writing your journal, and this is something that I've noticed myself doing the last couple of weeks in my journal, where I've been like, okay, this sounds like something that I would say out loud, but that's not what my journal is for. My journal is not for capturing things that I would say out loud. This is for me to develop a personal relationship with what's going on inside of me so that I can really take an honest look at it in a safe space and decide if it's true for me or not. But if I'm not willing to do the work to capture that in a way that supports me, then what's the point of journaling? For me, at least, right? So while I might start off my journaling with, today I ate a cheese sandwich and I did this and I went out, that's just fluff for me. That while it's nice to look at, it's not getting down deep in there. Now, some of this censorship for me has come from not knowing being scared, actually, that I'm going to just put it out there. The censorship has come from being scared of the emotions that will come out if I am honest on the page. If you live in the US, even if you don't, you know there's a whole lot going on in the world. Living in the US, there's a whole lot going on with women and with people of color. And so for me to be bold enough to sit down and write that, it is a revolutionary act. Even if I don't share it with anybody, it's a revolutionary act. And so in so many places in society, the message is to be calm, don't lower your voice. And when I censor myself in my journal, it's as if I'm lowering my voice, as if I'm not giving myself even that one little space to be heard, to really allow those feelings to be expressed and to process them so that I can move forward in my next steps. Now, for me, the unspoken words manifest into physical symptoms. I notice that I'm irritable and snapping at the people whom I'm closest to. I notice that I'm consuming a lot more media, not necessarily high vibrational things like I want to. I notice that I eat more. That's the physical manifestation of me censoring myself. I'm shoving food in my mouth. I'm craving different cakes and cookies and things and just shoving these things down in order to keep that quiet. But what I do notice, even though when I notice that I'm in that behavior of keeping quiet, of shoving the food in my mouth to keep myself quiet, if I can catch myself and notice, oh yeah, you've been censoring yourself in your journal, and allowing myself that space to be able to actually write that I'm mad as hell. I'm mad as hell at a lot of things that are happening. And this is what I can do about it. I can't do this, but I can do this, because that keeping quiet for me feels like helplessness and hopelessness. And I can spiral into that and spiral into that and spiral into that and spiral into that. And I know for me, it could lead to me being on medication because, one, I'd be overweight, I'm not exercising correctly, so that's putting a lot of stress on my body. And it doesn't help. It doesn't stop these things from happening in the world. My keeping my voice down, my censoring myself does not help any of these things happen. Any of these things get better. So while I cannot do anything globally except make a video for you and tell you not to censor yourself, to be mad, to rage on the page, to rip it up and burn it and get it out. But the whole point of it is to get it out so that you can see what your options are, because there's always an option. And I'm speaking this message probably more for myself, but I wanted you to be kind of have this a little bit more behind the scenes of to where my own thought processes were. So for me, some of that censorship also bleeds into not taking care of myself like I know I should. The self-care becomes a luxury rather than a necessity. Self-care being drinking enough water, enough clean, clear water, making sure that I can eat, that I am eating the healthiest food that I can afford on my budget. Making sure that I'm connecting with people who challenge me to be the highest version of myself possible. Making sure that I am honoring my commitments to myself and through extension to you. I've committed to doing 2 videos a week, every week on this channel for this year. That's what, and making sure that I am on top of that commitment is super important. That's part of what manifests when I don't give myself the voice, because then it dries up all of my ideas. It dries up any juice and zest for life, because it feels like hopelessness, helplessness, and what the heck am I doing for this? What the heck can I possibly do? So noticing where you're censoring yourself. Is there something that needs to be said even though your voice is shaking, even though it feels scary to do it? Face yourself on the page, maybe even facing yourself on a video. This is something that if you have Netflix, I highly recommend Grace and Frankie. And I got this idea from Grace and Frankie. It's to just make a video and just talk to yourself and talk yourself through all of it until you get to the meat of it. Sometimes talking the things out is better than writing the things down. So I invite you and I encourage you to make space for yourself and not censor yourself when you are meeting yourself on the page. Don't write down things that are so pretty and flowery. Get down in the muck and get the muck out, so that way you can make some powerful changes in your life and move forward in your life. I hope this little kind of rambly video has been helpful to you, and I hope that I have been helpful to you in all of my offerings. If there is anything that you would like for me to bring some elemental wisdom to, I would love to hear your thoughts and ideas, and you can place those in the comment box below. And if you've enjoyed any of my videos, please consider subscribing to my channel. I do videos every week on Wednesday. Wednesday we do a journal with me, and then on Fridays we have this you, me, and a cup of tea time. So please consider subscribing, or if you are already subscribed, and thank you very much for being here, please share this video with someone whom you think could benefit from it. Thank you. I appreciate any help that you can give me to help other people find me. So I am sending you loads and loads of love. Big love, big love, big love. Take care, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.